On Yes is brought to you in part by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. By Honda. The 2009 Honda clearance is here, but it ends soon. Hurry into your Honda dealer today. And by Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. It's a beautiful evening here in New York City. The Yankees have taken the field. Andy Pettitte is taking his warm-ups, and it's about time for the first pitch. And moments ago, the head coach of Army, Rich Ellerson, and Charlie Weiss's son, Charlie Jr., threw out the first pitch with Charlie Weiss, the head coach of ND, looking on as today the Yankees announced that Notre Dame and Army will be playing a football game here on November 20th of 2010. Should be fun. Let's take a look at the Orioles starting lineup presented by BMW. This is the lineup that Andy Pettitte's going to face. Orioles coming at 41 and 50. And they'll lead off Brian Roberts, their second baseman. Nick Markakis in right field will bat second. Batting third, the lone all-star for the Orioles, center fielder Adam Jones. Aubrey Huff at first base will clean up. He's cleaned up against the Yankees this year. Melvin Moore at third. Luke Scott the DH. Nolan Reimold, the left fielder, will bat seventh. The youngster, catcher Matt Wieters, is going to bat eighth, and batting ninth and playing shortstop, Cesar Izturis.
Well, Andy Pettitte on the mound tonight for the Yankees, trying to get back on the winning track. His last two starts have been losses. This will be his 19th of the year, his first since the All-Star break, and he's got an 8-5 record. And opponents hitting .283 against Andy Pettitte. Here's our Jeep pitcher scouting report. Whitey Ford and Catfish Hunter, the only two pitchers since the Orioles have moved to Baltimore in 1954 that have beaten the Orioles more than Andy Pettitte.
And we are underway. A strike to Brian Roberts.
In 2003. Andy beat the Orioles 6 times in 1 year. 6 times he beat them. In September 21st, 2008. That was the last game at the old Yankee Stadium. Andy Pettitte got the win. And who did he beat?
The Orioles.
The Baltimore Orioles. So he pitches well against them. 25-6 in his career against Baltimore.
And Brian Roberts is the guy who made the last out in that game for the Orioles against Mariano Rivera. Take a look at that last out.
Oh, man, right here it is. That's a fair ball.
Cody Ransom with the play.
Cody Ransom, last put out.
That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back is Damon. On the track, he makes the play in front of the wall for the first out. Well, we know that Johnny Damon's playing left, so let's take a look at the entire Yankee defensive schematic brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, Damon's in left, Melky Cabrera in center, and Eric Hinsky is over in right. Fourth start in right field this year for the Yanks. In the infield, A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira, that's third and first. Jose Molina with the start behind the plate. Andy Pettitte is on the mound. Here's Nick Markakis, and there's a strike.
Yeah, Markakis and Adam Jones is on deck. They flip-flop. When there's a lefty on the mound, Markakis bats second. But when there's a righty on the mound, Adam Jones will bat second.
The 0-1. High fly ball, right center, deep. Cabrera back, looking up. See ya! A long home run for Nick Markakis, and the Orioles are on the board. They lead 1-0.
Well, Markakis has been swinging a hot bat. He's hitting 6 of his last 7 games, and he runs his 10th home run of the year into the bullpen. The Yankee bullpen looked like a changeup, but he went down and got it. It was on the inner third, low and in. Got the good one on it. Kept his head down, followed through. Good swing. And watch Melky. About here, he starts to give up on it. He's not going to catch it. 1-0 Baltimore. Here's a good side look. Look at him go down on that one. He's a good low ball hitter. He's always been that way since coming into the league.
10th home run for Markakis, 113th for the Orioles. The Yankees have 115. And 13 of the 16 home runs that Andy has allowed this year have been here at Yankee Stadium. He has struggled in the Bronx. Adam Jones fouls it back. Now he has the same amount of wins home and road. But check this out, Kenny. At home he's 4-3. On the road he's 4-2. But at home he allows 2 more earned runs per game. 5.72 to 3.69.
Well, you know, with the home runs leaving this ballpark this year, you got to make better pitches. Simple as that. And you can't let the park get in your mind because the Yankees have been scoring here. The Yankees are the highest scoring team in baseball. So you're going to give up a few, just don't give up more than the other team, more than your team.
The 1-1. Fastball upstairs.
He's talking to Adam Jones before the game. You can see he made the All-Star team this year. He said the coolest thing about being an All-Star was high-fiving Mariano after the American League had won. And he drove in the winning run on a sacrifice fly.
IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes.
He also said he enjoyed taking ground balls at shortstop with Derek Jeter because when Jones originally signed, he was a shortstop.
The 1-2. Routed foul.
But has found a home in center field for Baltimore and probably be there for a long time. In fact, the Orioles outfield, I think, is set for about 10-12 years with Adam Jones at center, Markakis at right. There's manager Dave Tremblay. And now the rookie Nolan Reinbold taking over just about everyday basis in left.
I got a piece of the umpire, Adrian Johnson. Told you Adrian's behind the plate. At first base, Jim Wolf, Brian O'Nora at second, and Gary Cedarstrom is over at third. And the 1-2. Just missed outside. 2-2. "13 pitches for Pettit, 11 have been strikes." The 2-2. Another strike and a hard ground ball to Jeter on one hop. He makes the play. 2 away. Told you it's a beautiful day here in New York City. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 79 degrees, humidity 45%, 11 miles per hour is the wind, and there's a forecast for some ugly weather, but it's later on in the night. About midnight, there's supposed to be some showers, thunderstorms.
Let's hope we're out of here by then.
Yankee Oriole games take a long time.
Yeah, they have a history.
Here's Aubrey Huff. Foul behind the plate.
You know, Aubrey Huff and Johnny Damon, they are both sitting on milestone home runs. Each of them sitting on 199 homers. Who's going to get it first?
Well, Huff will not get it there. He pops it up to shallow left. Jeter out, makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Orioles are on the board. Nick Markakis went yard, his 10th home run of the year. And with that swing, it's the Orioles 1 and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Army, and we're lucky enough now to be joined by Army's football coach Rich Ellerson. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
What does this mean for your program to play at Yankee Stadium?
It's such a great opportunity to showcase Army football in a spectacular venue against an opponent like Notre Dame. Again, this is, to the extent that cadets are making a decision to come to West Point because of football, it's because of opportunities like this.
Well, I was looking at that old footage, Coach, and they don't run plays like that anymore, do they?
Well, we may bring them back.
Yeah, all right.
Here's Derek Jeter. He will lead off for the Yankees against David Hernandez. The Orioles have the 1-0 lead on Markakis' home run, and Jeter swings and fouls it away. So the count is 0-1. Derek, 262 hits in 211 games against the Orioles. Good year so far, 321 on base percentage, close to 400. And Hernandez deals. Fouled away. I've always wondered, it must be so difficult to recruit at Army. You have obviously a great thing to get a cadet to come to Army, but to get a kid who's a great football player to play at Army, boy, you're really selling against the fact that he wants to go pro, Rich.
Well, as I said before, the football is just part of it.
Right.
And if the pro football is the end-all, be-all for you, then this is obviously not the right place. But there are multitudes of young men that are looking for this challenge. But the idea of being part of something greater than themselves, the idea of service, it appeals to a lot of young men. And all we got to do is evaluate and pick the right ones.
The 1-2. High fly ball. Center field. Adam Jones drifts back and will make the play. One away. Now, how many seats does Notre Dame get, and how many seats does Army get for this game?
I'm not concerned about that. There are a lot of things to worry about in that game. The seating is not one of them.
I'm just wondering that this place is going to look great with all the cadets in it.
It will. They will have a great time.
You think of the rivalries that the Army has built up over the years. Notre Dame's just one of them. The Navy's, of course, one of the big ones too. And those type of games are the ones that are national type games. It's not just the New York area; it's just a national following that both these schools have.
Especially when we play the service academies. That is, we are all vested in those games at a national level.
Here's Johnny Damon. Now you run the triple option, right?
We do, sir.
Now, when you look at the Yankees, obviously a lot of great athletes. Who would be best suited to run the triple option?
I was watching those guys warm up. They got some guys can move now. They can.
That one is drilled to right field by Johnny Damon. It is off the wall. Goes right to Markakis, and Damon has to hold up because Markakis has 9 assists from the outfield, and he has a great arm.
Yeah, he leads the league in assists, and you hit the ball so hard, sometimes you can hold yourself to a single, and it's exactly what Johnny Damon did. This is a rocket into the corner, pitch right down the middle from Hernandez, and he knew it. You can see him turn. Just hopefully this ball wasn't high enough to get over the wall in right field. Right up the wall, right to Markakis, who plays it perfectly, gets it back in, and his throw is right on the money to second base.
Here's Mark Teixeira, and that pitch is upstairs. Now, were the cadets excited when this was made?
We just brought it up this morning. They want to know where I was going to be this afternoon, and it came up, and obviously they're very excited. But obviously there's a lot of football between here and there.
Count 2-0 to Teixeira.
Now, you're in the practicing already, aren't you?
No, well, actually the upper class cadets just reported back yesterday.
Okay.
So we just have those guys back on post. We won't start actually practicing until August 3rd.
Okay. Well, it's right around the corner, though.
It is. It's on us now.
Your alma mater is Hawaii.
Correct.
You're a long way from Hawaii.
Yeah, the surfing's not very good.
on the Hudson, no.
Yeah. There's Army's football schedule for 2009. And the game we're talking about will be played in 2010 on November 20th here at Yankee Stadium. Grounded foul. So how do you think you're going to do? You want to make a prediction right here, a guarantee, anything like that, Coach?
I guarantee we're going to play hard. I guarantee we're going to expect a win. Okay. I guarantee we're going to be together. That's what I guarantee.
This is the one that's a biggie, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely.
That's pretty big too.
The Service Academy games, but we're gonna get ourselves focused here real soon on September 5th.
Army-Navy was actually played here at Yankee Stadium in 1930 and 31, so there's a history of the service academies here.
You weren't around then. How'd you know that?
I know people.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if they send Damon 3-2 with 1 out. And Damon goes. And that one's popped up. More a long run. And he runs out of room. Now they're going to actually have the football field run from home plate towards center field. Right. And in the old days, it used to run from the first base line toward left field, but that's how it's going to look. So a couple of, I guess the dugouts will serve. They'll have a field go out there toward the end zone, and then right toward the center field wall. It'll work. I'm sure it'll fit. Yeah. Runner goes again, 3-2, line, base hit, down the right field line. Damon will round second. He's going to go to third. Markakis holds Teixeira to a single. You don't run on Nick Markakis, so the Yankees are taking it kind of a base at a time. They have first and third with one out.
Now Markakis is getting well acquainted with the corner, and you can see that pitch might have been a ball, but it was low in where Teixeira could just drop the head of the bat and rip it by Aubrey Huff, and it's headed for the corner. Markakis is going to run it down, but Johnny Damon scoots all the way to third base, and the Yankees are in business here in the bottom half of the first inning. Damon didn't need a coach, really. Once he saw the ball get by Huff, he's on his way to third base, and that's an experienced base runner.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. He might have been able to run the triple option. He was a quarterback in high school.
We have an Andrew Rodriguez on our team. They can both play.
Now you have Andrew. Do they call him A-Rod as well?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
Well, this A-Rod was a quarterback in high school. Yeah.
And he wears number 13 for Dan Marino, his favorite athlete growing up. The 0-1. 0-2. Got a piece of Wieters.
There's the rookie catcher, the much heralded Matt Wieters, who was called up in May by the Orioles. Former #1 draft pick, and fans in Baltimore couldn't wait for him to get called up to the big leagues. It's been somewhat of a rough go for the youngster. You just don't walk into the big leagues and start turning it on right away. There's a learning experience and a learning curve you're going to have to deal with.
And the 0-2. Foul back. Talking with Rich Ellison, the head football coach at Army. And Army and Notre Dame will play here on November 20th of 2010. That was announced today. How did this all come about? When did you first hear about it, Coach?
You know, by the time I got into the loop, it was 80% done. The question is, Coach, is there a good reason not to do this? And you know, I can only see positives come from something like this. So we're full speed ahead.
The 0-2. Foul back. Now, will this be considered an Army home game or an ND home game, neutral?
Yeah, I think I hear it's Notre Dame's home game, but if we get things right, I think New York, it'll feel like a home game for us. So, you know, we've talked about this is our other home stadium. You know, there's a time in our history that this Yankee Stadium was Army's other home stadium. We'd like to see that again.
The 0-2. 38 games Army has played here at Yankee Stadium across the street. And I talked to Charlie Weiss, the head coach of ND. We'll talk to him a little bit later on in the game. And he said, you know, this is one game, but they're talking about having more games here. It's something they'd like to keep going.
It's such great venue, great exposure for both of us.
Check swing on the breaking ball, count 2-2.
Yeah, so far Hernandez has not broken out too many breaking balls. And from what I understand, he's got decent fastball. Very good fastball, some movement on it. He likes to throw it high in the zone, which can be difficult against the Yankees. You can see his strike-ball ratio. It's okay. 12 strikes, 8 balls out of 20 pitches so far.
2-2. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Rodriguez down looking, 2 away.
Well, he finally dropped the hook in there. You can see the target from Wieters, and it did have the plate. Adrian Johnson calls out Alex Rodriguez in a tough situation. The Yankees are now, there's 2 outs, and it's going to take at least a base hit to score a run if the Orioles play well defensively here.
So big strikeout on the breaking ball by Hernandez, and that'll bring up Hideki Matsui. Damon is at third, Teixeira is at first. Orioles lead 1-0 on Markakis' first inning home run against Pettit.
Well, if this first inning goes 2 to 4 so far, he's gotten the right-handed hitters out. It's the lefties who have given him a problem. Now you got another left-handed hitter at the plate in Hideki Matsui. And you can see Hideki in July. Well, he's pretty hot.
The 0-1. 1-1. Just underway here at the stadium. Talking with the head coach of Army football, Rich Ellison. It was announced today Army will play Notre Dame here in 2010. 0-1-1. Upstairs 2-1. Now, do you redshirt at Army? Can you do that?
No,
you can't do that.
No, it's a 4-year program. You roll in there and at the end of June, and you graduate actually just under 4 years later.
Because I figured that if you had a senior on this year's team who wants to play at Yankee Stadium,
that's right. There was a dual voice in the meeting this morning when there was the firsties that realized, oops, they're not going to have a chance to do it, and some underclassmen were excited about it.
Right.
Well, that must create a lot of competition for positions, because if you've got to do it in 4 years,
And Matsui walks to load the bases. So bases loaded for Robinson Cano.
Now, Wieters has had a lot of these pitchers in the minor leagues, including Hernandez. Orioles are trying to bring up a lot of youngsters to fill out their pitching staff, and hopefully some of them will come through. It's been their weakness the last few years, their pitching. Their pitching right now is second from the bottom in the league. I think only Cleveland's worse than them. Hernandez had been in the minor leagues this year, came up, won his first start in the big leagues, which is, I guess, a big thrill for any pitcher, but eventually got sent back down.
Damon at third, Teixeira at second, and Matsui is at first. And the pitch to Cano is a strike. Cano's hitting .350 so far in July. And he also has 9 hits in his last 25 at bats over a shorter stretch. And the pitch. Over the breaking ball low, and the count 1-1.
Now, Coach, do you have many multiple sport athletes on your team?
You know, we'll have a couple, and I'm encouraging that. We think that we have a great fit with track.
Okay.
We'll have a number of guys doing that. We have a couple of guys that want to throw, that can pitch, and that's not a bad fit. There are some sports where you just got to make a choice. It's just too much of a commitment, too much time. But I really have experience in the past and hope that in the future we'll have a significant number of guys doing track and football.
The reason why I mention that, because I know that a lot of college coaches, once they have you in their program, they don't want to share you with.
I feel differently. I'm looking for. We want to keep score. We want to compete, and something like track, frankly, it complements what we're doing.
1-2. 2-2.
Hernandez is running his pitch count up in this inning, even though he has a lead to work with. It's a slim one at 1-0. But every pitch he throws this inning is probably one less that he's going to be throwing later on in the ballgame. His pitching coach, Rick Kranitz, who will be in charge of a lot of these young pitchers.
The 2-2 missed outside, so that's going to start the merry-go-round. Bases loaded, 2 outs, a 3-2 count. 31 pitches for Hernandez, almost 1-1, strike to balls. How does a young man handle the pressure pitching in Yankee Stadium for the first time? A crowd of over 45,000 people. How does he handle that? We'll see. A big pitch for him and for the Yankees. Runners go, and he'll have to do it again.
I think Cano might have swung at ball 4. Looked like that pitch was up and away. Cano is, as we know, not the most patient of hitters. He's not going to get called out on strikes, at least not very often. Looked like he went out of the strike zone for that one.
Damon at third, Teixeira at second, and Matsui is at first. 3-2 count on Cano, so the runners will go 2 outs. And they'll do it again. They're getting their running in. Coach was talking about track. Staying tuned.
And pretty good relay team out there. I used to do with a young pitcher on the mound in a situation like this. I used to try and dictate the at bat and take my time, step out, just make him feel like that ball's a shot put in his hands.
3-2. The only one who really doesn't have to run is Damon, because he doesn't want a face full of baseball. But Teixeira and Matsui going hard with the pitch. This will be the 35th pitch. the 3-2. That one is served into left field and deep. But Raimel backpedals to make the play for the final out of the first. So the Yankees threaten, but they leave the bases loaded. Coach, we look forward to seeing you in 2010.
Thanks, Ben. It's been great fun.
And good luck with Army.
I do appreciate it.
Coach Ellison, thank you very much.
Great.
Coach Rich Ellison.
Thanks again.
It's 1-0 Orioles. We go to the second. The Ashley Banfield glasses.
Oh, goodness.
There's Spike Lee in his Spike Lee glasses. He's texting. Near and dear to my heart. Text me, Spike. Tomorrow's starters brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. Rich Hill will get the start for the Orioles, a bloated 7.22 ERA. Sergio Mitre will get his first Yankee start at AAA with Trent Wilkes-Barre, 3-1 with a 2.40. Now, we'll be on My 9 tomorrow. First pitch will be about 7:08. We'll come on the air at 7. Do a little song and dance and get you ready for the game. Joe Girardi came out and talked to the third base umpire, Gary Cederstrom, and now Cederstrom is going over to talk to the Oriole bench. Not quite certain what that's about.
They're something to do with the lights?
Not sure. Hey, stay tuned during the sixth inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network.
And there might be a couple of banks of lights that are not kicked in.
All right, so the kid works out of trouble, Kenny, but do you think that settles him down, or because of the high pitch count, it makes things worse?
Well, the best pitch that he made all of the inning was the breaking ball to A-Rod, got it over the plate. Yeah, he's going to pay down the line. You throw 35 pitches in the first inning, that means you're going to hang around a lot less longer than the fact that the Yankees are going to get to him a little bit later on because he worked so hard in the first.
Pitch to Melvin Moore is a strike. I was noticing, Kenny, as I was putting the lineup down, the Orioles have unbelievable batting averages when they come up with runners in scoring position. I mean, one after the other, 330, 340, 350. I mean, they do score runs. Their problem is pitching.
Yeah, they give up way too many. That's what you're talking about, the long games. They just came from Chicago. They lost the first two games of the series there and then won yesterday.
I think the Orioles' worst crime as they're trying to rebuild there is that they're in the American League East. And it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, they are 41-50, which is not dreadful. There are a lot worse records in baseball, but they're stuck in a division that has the Yankees, the Red Sox, the American League champion Rays, and the Blue Jays have had a much better season than people thought. High fly ball, center field. Cabrera went out, now comes in. All right. Hey, Yankee fans, go to MetLife.com/Yankees for your chance to present the MetLife Player of the Month Award on the field at Yankee Stadium. Simply visit MetLife.com/Yankees for official rules. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited, and sweepstakes sponsor is Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. Derek Jeter got the award for June, and then a long-awaited shake of the Snoopy hand by Derek. Here's Luke Scott. And there's a strike.
It's not easy shaking those paws, you know?
No, it's hard.
Luke Scott having himself a pretty good season, leading the Orioles in home runs with 18.
That one is off of Teixeira, fielded by Cano, flips to Pettit, and it's the old 3-4-1. You can see Teixeira, attaboy Robbie, saved him an error.
Well, this ball's hit pretty hard, and it glances up. Yep, the heel of the glove. Teixeira jumps up in the air, a little bobble. Everything happened on this play, but it worked out well for the Yankees. A little bobble by Cano, flip to Andy Pettit, and just ahead of Luke Scott, and the Yankees get down. It doesn't have to be pretty. You just have to get the outs in this situation. Here's Andy on the move. Yep, he got there ahead of Luke Scott for the out.
Pitch to Nolan Reimold outside. Keeping score, that is a 3-4-1 putout. And this could be your basic 6-3 ground ball with Jeter and a 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettit here in the second. As the Orioles go down in order, 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 Baltimore. Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. Mel Stoudemire, 1965 on July 20th. We saw Mel yesterday. Looked great during Old Timers Day. Hit an inside-the-park grand slam against the Boston Red Sox. Mel Stoudemire. There he is.
Right. He hit it off Bill Mambuquette.
Here is Eric Hinsky to lead off against the youngster David Hernandez. Yankees trail 1-0. We didn't get a chance to set the pitcher and give you his stats with Coach Ellison in the booth, so let's take a look at Hernandez.
Yeah, this will be his 7th game. You can see his record at 2-2. And hasn't had much time at the big league. Let's check out the Jeep pitcher scouting report. Went back from the minors. He had been sent down to work on his craft in the minor leagues, and he's part of the youth movement.
That was drilled deep to right. See ya! Another home run for Hinsky. He ties the game at 1. Eric Hinsky with his 4th home run as a Yankee in limited playing time.
Hinske has 5 hits with the Yankees. 4 of them are home runs. Let's see where the pitch up in the zone. It looked like a changeup, and Hinske knew it as soon as he touched it off. It's a new ball game. 1-1. Just off the facing of the second deck. That was a rocket.
13 at bats for the Yankees, 4 home runs. Melky Cabrera swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Wieters and Moore calls him off and makes the play, 1 away.
The last point on Hernandez was he's got a live fastball. It's just that sometimes he has spotty control with it. So he's part of the youth movement. I want to get back to that because there are several pitchers in the minor league, a couple of them here in the big leagues. Brad Bergeson, Jason Birkin. We'll see Birkin on Wednesday. Chris Tillman might be the best of them all, and he might be the next call-up for the Orioles. Brian Madison, draft pick, #1 pick a few years ago. Troy Patton, they got in a trade with the Houston Astros, and Jake Arrieta. All of these pitchers might show up at the big league level soon for the Baltimore Orioles.
Pitch to Molina as a strike. Breaking ball strike. And the 0-2. Count 1-2.
Jorge Posada getting the night off tonight. He had caught every game following the All-Star break. All 3 games against Detroit. Molina gets the start tonight.
I missed about 2 months with a quad injury. And Francisco Cervelli really did a great job filling in. Posada, coming back from major shoulder surgery, has done a good job all season. And the 2-2. Foul ball.
Well, you saw an example of the live fastball that Hernandez possesses. I did see his first start back in May, and he got the win against the Detroit Tigers in his first major league start. In that particular game, his fastball was very impressive.
He goes behind the back, knocks it down, and gets Molina for the second out. Now let's take a look at the entire Yankee lineup presented by BMW. They've all had 1 at bat. Jeter at short, Damon at left, Teixeira at first. Middle of the order, A-Rod, Matsui, and Cano. And the bottom third, Hinske, Cabrera, and Molina. And here is Derek Jeter. Flew out to fairly deep center field in the first inning. Yankees come in a season-high tying 17 games over 500, just a game behind the Boston Red Sox in the American League East. Yankees are 54-37. And that's their high watermark. They were at that before getting swept by the Angels at the end of the first half. But they made up those 3 games that they lost with a sweep of the Tigers at the beginning of the second half. And while the Yankees were sweeping the Tigers, the Blue Jays were taking 2 out of 3 from the Red Sox. Red Sox play the Rangers tonight. It's Smoltz against Millwood. Take a look at the Orioles defense, brought to you by Mercedes. Reimold, Jones, and Markakis, they all have really good arms that can throw you out. Flores, Torres, Roberts, and Huff third to first. The youngster Wieters behind the plate, and Hernandez is on the mound. You've got 9 assists for Markakis, 5 for Jones, and 3 for Reimold.
Reimold has not been up all season long. The Orioles actually had a game in Chicago where they threw out 2 runners at home plate in 1 inning. One by Reimold and one by Markakis. And one of the reasons why they were able to do that, because Adam Jones made a strong throw, and the third base coach of the White Sox had to hold up the runner at second base instead of having him come to third. So then Reimold threw him out at the plate. The runner that hit the ball went to second, and Markakis threw him out at the plate on another hit.
2-2. Breaking ball with no bite. 3-2.
Like I said, the strong point of the Oriole team is their outfield. So they got to work from their outer defense in to strengthen their ball club. They can hit. They got a good hitting team.
3-2 to Jeter. Another breaking ball with no bite and a walk to the Yankees shortstop. He'll take first with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Damon. In the first inning, Damon hit a blistering line drive just off the wall in right field. He hit it so hard, got out there so quickly. Marquez fielded the ball off the wall, and Damon could only get a single.
All 3 of the Yankee hits have come from left-handed hitters, and all 3 have been hit pretty hard.
Strike to Damon. .53 pitches for the youngster, 30 strikes. And the 0-1.
One of the scouting reports on the catcher Wieters that he hasn't been thrown all that well since coming to the big leagues. And I'm sure the Yankees scouts have informed the team. Jeter's stolen 17 bases this year.
Spoiled that pitch.
And now that Damon has 2 strikes, he might be more apt to go. Combination of a young pitcher and an inexperienced catcher. Veteran base runner.
He's been wild high last couple of batters. And it's a 2-2 count on Damon. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jeter, number 2, is on first. Eric Hinsky has hit a home run already this inning to tie the game at 1.
We've taken several shots at Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, and I mentioned all those young pitchers, and the Orioles are very excited about the pitchers that they have in the minors and the young pitchers they have here, but that's going to mean a lot of teaching for that gentleman right there.
Popped up. Huff toward the Yankee dugout. Dropped the ball. Ball, glove, body arrived right at the fence and kind of jarred it loose.
And jarred it loose. Looked like he had it, and just for a second. And watch him hit the top of the railing there, and that's going to knock the ball out of the glove. So it'll be interesting to see how they score this. I think that it's going to be no play because of the fact he ran into the railing. And he won't be charged with an error. And Damon's at bat is going to be extended.
2-2. Strike 3. So Damon down on strikes. But the Yankees tie the score. Eric Hinsky hits his 4th home run as a Yankee, 13 at bats. It's 1-1 after 2. We'll talk to the head coach of Notre Dame football, Charlie Weiss, when we get back. Matt Wieters leads off the third inning. Andy Pettit starts him off with a pitch outside, 1-0. On the Modell scoreboard, it's 1-1, Yankees and the O's. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the New York Yankees. Andy working quickly. We have to slow him down because we have a guest in the booth, and he is the head coach of Notre Dame football, who also happens to be a huge Yankee fan, and that is Charlie Weiss. 2-0. Outside corner, 2-1. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just great. It was a great day here. Getting to play Army next year and getting to see the Yanks is a double whammy.
Now, I've heard stories about this that you really, I mean, you have a great job, but you wanted my job, right? You wanted to be the Yankee announcer.
As a matter of fact, I used to, right back, we're talking about the old timers now. I used to imitate all those old timers. Mel Allen right on through.
Here's your chance, Coach.
No, I'm gonna stick to my job.
Stick with them. Well, you're very, very good at that. Well, we've seen you and met you in spring training. You've been down at Steinbrenner Field in the past, but now it's the real deal. I mean, the Yankees are one game behind Boston. This could be it tonight. He can tie them up.
Yeah, I watched all weekend. We buy the baseball package just so we can watch the Yanks. So I watched the game. I watched you guys yesterday because it's not always on Yes. Sometimes you have to watch the opponent's broadcast right there. So I always appreciate when it's you guys because I feel like home.
We appreciate that, Coach.
What does it mean to Notre Dame to return to playing football at Yankee Stadium, Coach?
Oh, first game, new Yankee Stadium. We bring college football back, and it's the first game. We played, Army 22 times at the old Yankee Stadium. So I think if they had to pick a game, you couldn't have picked a better matchup than Notre Dame versus Army.
We always talk about that 1928 game, and we mentioned it earlier when Notre Dame played Army, and that was the famous win one for the Gipper speech.
That's right.
Well, what people don't realize is that George Gipp died 8 years before that, and he told Newt Rockne, save this for when they really need it.
You mean it wasn't like in the movie?
No, they were trailing at halftime, and that's when they pulled the speech out. They ended up winning 12-6.
I thought it was. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan did it right.
Cesar Astores with an 0-1 count. Wieters is at first. Now, obviously, you've been on the coaching staff of Super Bowl champions with the Patriots, and you were with the Giants as well. Is it sometimes hard to grasp the reach of Notre Dame? I mean, we're sitting here in New York, and it's almost like New Yorkers that didn't even go to college feel that they're alums of Notre Dame.
It's such a national school. Obviously starting with the Catholics, but it isn't just that. It's such a national exposure school where, any school you walk into in any state of the country, you're welcome there, and I think it's true with the fan base. Now, it's not all good now. That might sound good, but your private life is over. But I think that my job is just to represent Notre Dame football.
Over the years, Notre Dame's schedule has been so tough. It's like a pro football schedule.
Yeah, and I think that also the exposure is like pro football. Because it's Notre Dame. Anything you say, will be on Sports Center that night. You have to. We actually have to educate our kids with media training.
The 0-2. Fouled away. Just took a look at the upcoming schedule for Notre Dame. Now, the game at Yankee Stadium will be November 20th of 2010, so that'll be the next season.
That's correct.
You've got USC on the 17th, so that'll be a big litmus test right away in the 6th game.
Yeah, that's at home. After coming off of a bye, they also have a bye, but that'll be a big measuring stick to where our program is this year.
And then at Michigan, and obviously they should have a bounce-back season. That one gets away from Molina as Wieters goes to second base.
I believe that's going to be a wild pitch that sends Wieters into scoring position.
And then Army against Notre Dame, November 20th of 2010. Obviously, no one puts more pressure on you than you, but do you feel outside pressure because they have not been Notre Dame sort of years the last couple?
No. I mean, when I went there, I learned under Parcells and Belichick, and they just told me, establish a plan, stick to the plan, and don't deviate from the plan. And I think we're about ready to get the fruits of that labor.
Jimmy Clausen entering his 3rd year. What kind of progression have you seen him make?
Well, first of all, physically he's night and day different. You know, he came in 195 pounds. He's 223 right now, and you know, physically he's different, mentally he's different, but probably most importantly, you know, he's kind of taken over the team. And you know, it's once the quarterback takes over the offense, it usually bodes well for the success of the offense.
1-2 to his Tourist. Fouled away.
They're helping us out here with a couple of foul balls. Let us talk a little bit.
His Tourist is one of those hitters, coach, that's tough to strike out. He usually puts bat on ball, and he can drive a pitcher crazy by fouling pitch off after pitch. Sort of like the Orioles' answer to Johnny Damon.
Well, to be honest with you, Damon and I were having a couple chuckles in the locker room because we know each other back from the Patriot Red Sox days. You know.
The 1-2. Did you have to keep your Yankee allegiance a little quiet when you were up in New
No,
England?
I was an outspoken, loudmouth Yankee fan. You know, you want to talk about a beating. You know, when we lost that 3-0 series lead, I was a one-man, you know, punching bag. I mean, I just took a beating because I was an outspoken Yankee fan, and I always will be.
Well, they got a long way to go to catch up, though, Coach. You know, to 26 World Championships.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
Now, as a Yankee fan, you obviously, I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, you have to be a Paul O'Neill fan for the championship years.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, I just got a text from Paul O'Neill.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he goes, "Sorry, Charlie, go Buckeyes."
You know, tell him that's a typical Buckeye response. That's something like Vrabel would have said to me.
The 1-2. Swung on a miss, so Pettit wins the battle with his Tourist to get the first out.
After all those foul balls, he threw something he couldn't touch. Let's see what it is. Looked like a fastball down and away. Maybe a little cut to it as he catches the outside corner. His Tourist recognizes it late. The ball looked like it was past him after he swung at it. So he's gone for the first down.
That'll bring up Brian Roberts, a .324 hitter this year with runners in scoring position, and that's where Wieters is. Game is tied at 1. We're in the top of the 3rd. We're talking with the head football coach of Notre Dame, Charlie Weiss.
And Charlie, I have a question. You know, the pregame speeches and the halftime speeches to the team, how much are those rehearsed? Or I know the halftime probably can't be, depends on what happened in the first half. But prior to the game, are there certain points you want to touch on or to fire the team up?
Yeah, before the game, they're usually choreographed. The points are choreographed. You know, the delivery is different each week, but the points are choreographed. At halftime, usually it's more education. Here's what they're doing. Here's what we're doing. You know, and straighten out any problems and saying, okay, here's what we're going to do in the second half. So it isn't quite the same. It's not like a rah-rah at halftime. Where you could be more emotional before the game than you would be at halftime.
The 1-1. Now, I know that Notre Dame doesn't need recruiting help, but playing a game at Yankee Stadium, is that something you could bring into a family's home?
Yeah, it'll be great, especially for the kids in the Northeast. You know, that we dialed up on our future schedule. We're going to play in the new Giant Stadium, and then we're playing at Yankee Stadium. I mean, they love to be able to play home and get all their family and friends in close proximity.
Now, who was a bigger baseball fan, you or Parcells?
Well, Parcells is a Red Sox fan, so we don't want to talk about Parcells.
Wow.
You know, he's one of those closet Red Sox fans.
How did a Jersey guy become a Red Sox fan?
Don't ask me. Don't ask me. He was a Giant fan, in football, but he was a Red Sox fan in baseball. I think his dad was a Red Sox fan.
He really kept that hidden. You just exposed him.
Yeah, that's true.
The 2-2. Broken back, grounded foul.
You know, these back-to-back managers the last 2 days are Notre Dame diehards. Tremblay's a big Notre Dame fan, and Leland, he's a huge Notre Dame fan too. So Tremblay was like a kid. He was like a kid in a candy store down there.
Yeah, you took a picture with him before the game. I saw that. He knew you were here. He saw you across the field, and he started to perk up.
That was fun to watch.
How many of the Yankees did you get a chance to talk to? You said you spoke to Damon.
Probably half dozen. Jeter and A-Rod, they always, they're always really go out of their way for him. Talked to Mo for, a couple seconds, beforehand. I asked him if he was spent after the last 3 days. But it's nice seeing some of these guys. They're very polite and they're getting torn on. So it's really nice the way they treat, especially my kid.
3-2. Strike three. Roberts down looking. So Pettit keeps winning these long battles, and Roberts does not like that call.
Well, let's see if he has a beef. Not much he can do about it now. He's headed back to the dugout. But the last pitch looked like it was similar to the one that got his tourist. Yep, very similar. A little cut, maybe to the outside corner. Roberts didn't think so, but boy, if it got in the corner, half the ball did. But that's good enough in the big leagues. And Roberts is heading back to the dugout.
Here's Nick Markakis, who had a home run in the first inning. And the pitch. Fly ball right field. Hinsky goes out and then comes in and makes the play. Coach, great to see you. And thank you for dropping by. And thanks for watching Yes in Notre Dame.
Thank you very much. Go Yanks.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
All right.
Well, they have football coming back to Yankee Stadium. That's in the old days. And on November moment as we go to the bottom of the third, and the G moment yesterday took place with Mark Teixeira at the plate.
Mark Teixeira with the home run that gave the Yankees the lead 2-1. That provided the winning margin, and that was the G moment from yesterday afternoon.
And just like that, Mark Teixeira will lead off. And the pitch is inside 1-0. The Modell's scoreboard, it's 1-1. And Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees.
It's going to be a pretty good game. I'll be in Notre Dame.
They had a big press conference today, Kenny, and they talked about how they'd like to get more football games here. They're also thinking about getting the Winter Classic and hockey here.
Wow.
And they also said Hal Steinbrenner was at the press conference saying that he was not adverse to having concerts, exploring the idea of concerts here as well. And I know that when they built the new Yankee Stadium, that one is driven deep to right center field. He didn't quite get it, though. Kind of off the end of the bat, and Adam Jones makes the play. One away. They want to make this a year-round destination. Some of the restaurants are open 365 days a year, so they'd like to have things in the winter as well.
Yeah, from what I understand, that the whole neighborhood's going to change somewhat. There's planning for destination. They have restaurants here at the ballpark. They're going to be open all winter long.
MYY Steak, the Hard Rock Cafe. Alex Rodriguez pops one up. Markakis is there. And there's two-way. Hey, fans, it's time for the Toyota Text Poll. Tonight's question is, which of these Orioles veterans would get the biggest return in a trade? The choices are number 1, Aubrey Huff, number 2, Melvin Moore, number 3, Brian Roberts, number 4, Luke Scott, number 5, George Sherrill. You can text your vote at 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Now, Aubrey Huff is going to be a free agent, so is Melvin Moore. But the one name that you keep hearing the most about, the big rumor today in the Los Angeles Times, is that the Angels would like to pick up Sherrill.
Yeah, I think being a left-handed reliever and capable of closing or setting up, that's something he did in the past. That I would agree with that. I think he's the one that would draw the most in return.
And when you see what Adam Jones has done and the value of George Sherrill, and then Tillman, who's going to come up, you realize what a good trade Andy McPhail made with the Seattle Mariners, sending Eric Bedard, arguably the best pitcher for the Orioles, over Seattle, and he got quite a return. And all of the players have been very, very good.
The only thing that Bedard on the other end of that trade, he spent a lot of time on the disabled list.
Yep.
And he was the Orioles' best pitcher at the time when they made the deal. But you're right, McPhail made sure he got a boatload of players and with potential. He moved Sherrill, the Orioles moved Sherrill right into the closing role, and he's done a good job the last few years.
Line foul.
That was just a rolling curveball up to the plate that Hideki was too far out in front. Think about it, the Adam Jones in center field. There's Terry Crowley, the hitting coach, and Brian Ebel, the assistant trainer.
Ooh. And Matsui swings and misses as the Yankees go down in order against the youngster David Hernandez. 3 in the books here at the stadium. It's a 1-1 game. You are watching us. State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Now, this is also a quiz to see if you were listening closely earlier, because the answer was actually mentioned earlier. Here we go. On this day in 1965, Mel Stoudemire hit an inside the park grand slam against the Red Sox. Off whom did he hit that home run? You heard the answer earlier. Oh, yeah. Testing all of your senses. Sight, smell, everything. 1-1 game.
And see, if I had known that was going to be the question, the answer would not have been thrown out there.
The 1-0. There's a strike.
Somebody down in the truck is really mad at me.
Line down the right field line and foul.
Yeah, one thing Adam Jones had to learn this year is hit the ball well to the opposite field. He's done that. He's made himself into an all-star player. He's had somewhat of a slump. He got off to a really great start this year. Led the American League in runs scored in the month of April with 24. And but it's his all-around play. Not only his hitting, but his defending in center field.
And he swings and misses. Molina after it, fires to first. And there's one away.
It was Jones who delivered the sacrifice fly that scored Curtis Granderson, who we saw over the weekend here with the Tigers. Granderson hit a triple, and Adam Jones hit the sacrifice fly and gave the American League the 4-3 victory.
There's Aubrey Huff. So I get up today, Kenny, and I flick on the TV.
Yeah.
Watch some Regis and Kelly.
Yeah.
And who's on Regis and Kelly? CC Sabathia, Mark Teixeira, and Alex Rodriguez.
Wow.
I mean, they're pulling the big guests. Obviously, the Yankees are talking about Hope Week, which is a really great initiative that the organization is doing, sending the players out and doing charitable things, people in need, people that have accomplished these great things. It's really a neat thing, and the players have really bought into it as well. So the three guys were actually on to talk about it. And the thing that gets me, though, Ken,
gotcha,
is, Regis is a big Yankee fan.
And a Notre Dame fan, too.
That's right. And you know that Reg probably listens to the broadcast.
Gotcha.
Well, we've both been doing this, 300-400 years? Never once have we been asked to be on Regis and Kelly, ever.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
We've had Regis in the booth, too.
Yeah. We've had him on center stage. It's unconscionable, Reg. 2 away as Aubrey Huff is gunned down.
See, but here's the difference between you and I, Mike.
What's that?
I must get up earlier than you because I saw those three on the Today Show.
Really?
After I'd worked out.
So, I was in the arms of Morpheus during the Today Show. Hey, this week does mark the Yankees' first ever Hope Week, a unique week-long community initiative to help others persevere and excel. Each day from Monday through Friday, Yankee players are reaching out to inspirational individuals, families, and organizations. Daily celebrations are culminating at Yankee Stadium, and outreach is often taking place away from the ballpark. For more information on Hope Week, please visit Yankees.com. Get involved and give hope. It's really a cool thing that the Yankee players and the Yankee organization happen to be doing this week. There's a ground ball up the middle. Jeter grabs, does the 360, fires, got him. Good play on both ends. Jeter with the field and the throw, and then Mark Teixeira pulling it out of the dirt for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So Jeter ranges behind second, does the 360 spin, and gets the throw off to Mark Teixeira for the final out. hit an inside the park grand slam against the Red Sox. Off whom did he hit it? If you have rewound your VCRs or DVRs, you know it's Bill Monboquette. As Robinson Cano lost one to left field. Reimold is there. One away. And Monboquette actually played with the Yankees in '67 and '68 and had Mel Stoudemire as a teammate. I'm sure they spoke about that a lot. 1-1 game, bottom of the fourth inning. Robinson Cano, one of many Yankees that made their way to Washington Heights this morning, and part of the Hope Week initiative. Robinson Cano and Joe Girardi and Mariano Rivera.
Melky
was there.
Joe Girardi led a nice discussion about leadership, and had a nice meal. Chance to have some tasty lunch, so the guys didn't go hungry today.
And a lot of the kids that were visited by the Yankees actually went out to home plate with Robbie Thompson and presented the lineup card to the umpire. It's just a really neat thing that, we take it for granted. We're here all the time, but some people, most people, it's a huge thing. And to go on the field and have Yankees come in and meet them and talk about some of the accomplishments and the troubles they've been going through, I really think that's a wonderful thing that's being done. There's a foul ball off the bat of Hinsky.
So far, Hinsky's got a stroke for Yankee Stadium. 3 of his 4 home runs have come here at the big ballpark in the Bronx. He also hit, 2 of his 4. He hit 2 in one game on the West Coast.
Swing and a miss, and Hinsky down on strikes. Here's Melky Cabrera. And the pitch is outside, 1-0. First game of a 3-game set tomorrow night, number 2, and then a Wednesday afternoon game. There's a strike. Tomorrow, Sergio Mitre makes his first Yankee start against Rich Hill. That'll be on May 9 at 7 o'clock. And then Wednesday afternoon, A.J. Burnett against Jason Burkett.
Hernandez trying to settle down after the first inning, which he threw 35 pitches.
Hot shot and grabbed by Huff. Almost took his glove off for the final out of the 4th inning. So Hernandez, after the walk to Jeter, has retired 7 in a row, and he gets the Yankees on 9 pitches here in the 4th. We'll keep a close eye on that one, Bob. The Yankees are a game behind the Red Sox for first place in the East. On the Lexus scoreboard, it's 1-1 right here in the Bronx. Luke Scott will lead off against Andy Pettit. There's a breaking ball strike. Scott grounded one off the chest of Teixeira, bounced out to Cano. Cano flipped to Pettit for the second out of the second inning. Tried to pull an outside pitch and grounds it foul. And Teixeira couldn't handle that one.
Scott has kind of hit his way into the lineup on an everyday basis. He's playing against maybe not every single left-hander that hits the mound, but he's hitting .316 against lefties this season. Has 8 home runs against left-handed pitching. Well, he's becoming more and more the everyday designated hitter.
The 0-2.
Woo! Say hello to Bud Selig. Fastball up and in. It's more old school baseball on an 0-2 count.
Strike 3. Scott down looking.
That's a prime example. That one pitch sets up the next one, and Andy Pettit was perfect with both of them. Fastball up and in, and then the target is low and away, and see you later. Hitter scouting report on the rookie, Nolan Raimo. He leads all rookies in home runs. In June, he was the Rookie of the Month in the American League. And May 20th, 2009, a day he will never forget, hit his first Major League home run, and it was off Mariano Rivera here at Yankee Stadium. The only time Mo has ever given up a rookie's first Major League homer. Michael, when you look at the well, here's we're going to look at the home run first. We'll go back to May the 20th. There it is, number 1. Mo kind of knew it was hit well, very well, into Monument Park in center field, and Raimo's feet didn't touch ground all the way around the bases. You know, last year was kind of a slam dunk. Evan Longoria was going to be Rookie of the Year. I mean, the year he had, and rightly so. But this year, there's there's not that big time crop of rookies. Raimo leads with 9 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Now last year, Alexi Ramirez of the White Sox was involved. Jacoby Ellsbury was a rookie last year, and Longoria had a tremendous season. So good, in fact, that he was a starting third baseman on the All-Star team this year. But it might be an interesting race for Rookie of the Year this year.
As Raimo works a walk. So his rankings all first or tied for first in the major categories. Hey, even if you're not home, you can still catch the game. Now Yankee fans can watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. That pitch is high to Wieters, 1-0. Well, they were waiting for Wieters. High draft pick, can't miss, and I'm not saying that they're nervous, but there is some trepidation that he has not done what they thought he was going to do. It's hard to be great right out of the box, but I think they expected a little bit more from Wieters than 239 and an on-base percentage of under 300.
Well, Baseball America had him ranked as the #1 prospect in all of baseball. Every organization, he was sitting on top of everybody else. Switch hitting catcher with power, great numbers in the minor leagues. Tossed to first. Great numbers in the minor leagues, but sometimes it does not translate to this level. I mean, there's no league higher than this one. 6'5", 230 pounds, switch hitting catcher. One thing they said about him, said he has a slow bat, which means that he's having trouble getting to the fastball. But people say he has a high leg kick, and sometimes that can you don't get that timing.
And also, when you're a catcher, he's got to learn all of his pitchers.
Yeah.
He's got to worry about defense.
Yeah.
And then he's got to learn the pitchers that are throwing pitches to him as a hitter.
Yeah.
It's a big learning curve for a catcher. It's a little bit different than any other position player.
You're absolutely right, Michael.
Runner goes. And that one is driven down the right field line. It could be trouble. It is off the wall. Fielded quickly by Hinske. He fires into Teixeira. Moving to third is Reimold. I believe the Yankee infielders deked out Reimold because he stopped at second.
Well, he wasn't sure where the ball was. As the ball is hit, Dave Tremblay has the runner in motion. You can see it pitch up and out over the zone, and Wieters goes the other way. Now watch Reimold. Is it Cano? Yeah, it is Cano who dekes him out. And he eventually gets to third base. And timeout's being called here. I don't know if Wieters has lost a contact lens or what. Here's a look at the ball off the wall. As Hinske gets it back in. Yep, I think he lost a contact lens. Yep. So timeout is called, and he's going to have to go in. And he's going to. Whoop, whoop.
Whoa.
E2.
So he made good contact and then lost a good contact.
That is the veteran trainer Richie Bancel. Has been around a long time. Richie was the assistant when I was playing for the Orioles. Assistant to the world famous Ralph Salvo.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. So Wieters is okay. Contact is in. And the Orioles are threatening. First and third with one out. And Cesar Izturis at the plate. Izturis was out of action from June 5th to July 10th with appendicitis. Shows bunt, takes a strike.
During his absence, Robert Andino took over and did a pretty good job at shortstop for Baltimore.
Line foul.
See, this wasn't fouled by much, and if Teixeira was actually gotten off, see, he has so much range, he actually took himself away from catching that ball.
Crowd looking for a strikeout, and they get it. Breaking ball in the dirt. Izturis could not hold up. Strikeout number 5 for Pettit, and a big strikeout.
Once again, Izturis going out of the strike zone, and but nowhere near that one. Good stop by Molina. Watch this, hit ball into dirt, swung on and missed, which also distracts the catcher. But Molina keeps it in front of him, and the big strikeout for Andy Pettit, pick up the second out of this inning.
26 pitch third inning was a big inning for him pitch-wise. He's at 80 pitches overall here in the fifth. 18 in this inning alone. Here's Brian Roberts. And a strike. One game, top of the fifth. High fly ball, shallow center. Cabrera is there, and Pettit works out of trouble. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base at the end of 4 1/2. We're halfway through. It's a 1-1 game right here on Yes. and by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. Clutch pitching by Andy Pettitte to work into and out of trouble, and Jose Molina will lead off against David Hernandez. Breaking the ball with no bite inside, 1-0. Now you know Mark Feinsand.
Oh yeah,
he is the Yankee beat writer for the New York Daily News.
Does a great job.
Yes, he does. And Mark is one of those rare people that actually likes his in-laws. Likes his scoreboard as 1-1.
Wait a minute.
Well, you might be one of those rare people too.
Yeah, I love my in-laws. They love me.
Well, anyway, Mark's father-in-law, Richard Lichtenstein, has been under the weather and is recuperating in Columbia Presbyterian, and he is a huge Yankee fan. And before he would even check into the hospital, he wanted to know if they got yes. So, Richard, we hope you're feeling better, and we are glad that you are watching.
Get well soon.
And your son-in-law says, hey. Count 3-1.
We mentioned it, Hernandez had settled down somewhat after the first inning. He's but this will be after Molina, will be the third look for the Yankees at this young right-hander. Just 24 years old.
And Hernandez wins that battle as Molina flies out to Adam Jones. All the way. An impressive bounce back by Hernandez. I think he threw 34, 35 pitches in the first inning. He's at 85 right now. Nick Swisher getting one part of the mani-pedi. A rare day off for Nick, as Eric Hinsky's in right field. There's Derek Jeter.
Derek had an 8-game hitting streak broken yesterday, but he's still hit 19 of his last 21 games.
A couple of economical innings have kept him in the game. 12 in the third, 9 in the fourth. Sky high pop up, right side, foul territory. Huff is there. And they're 2 away.
You can see that Hernandez lives in by the high fastball. So far, there's only been one ground ball out. And that was when Warner grounded back to him in the second inning. But that's a dangerous way to live against the Yankees. Home run hitting team, tied for the league lead with the Texas Rangers.
And Baltimore's just 2 behind. With 113, the Yankees and the Rangers at now 116 because of Hinsky. Yankees have 136. I'm sorry.
137 now with Hinsky. I think you're looking at home runs allowed.
That's it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a broken bat. And it is. I think it's a running joke. They know that he breaks at least 3 bats a game.
You know, if they keep track, he'd be among the league leaders.
Elias keeps track of everything else.
Hernandez trying that low-in breaking ball to get Johnny to swing at it and strike himself out. Instead, he would chase, and now the count is even at 2-2. What? We mentioned Johnny sitting on 199 career homers.
Alex Rodriguez in the hole. He'll be on deck after Mark Teixeira.
His last home run was one of the fireworks variety. It was at a July 4th. Off a brand name, Roy Halladay.
Three-two, and David Marshall. 94 pitches for Hernandez. Well, Mark Teixeira says he hits home runs in bunches. He's had a bunch lately. And a strike.
With Hernandez now approaching 100 pitches. Looks like they're moving around out there in the Oriole bullpen.
Grounded to first. Aubrey Huff right there steps on the bag, and that's going to do it. So David Hernandez with a strong 5 innings against the Yankees. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the 6th. It's 1-1. Time for a fresh brewed cup of coffee. At Yes, we get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. W.B. Mason, who but? We go to the 6th inning. And Nick Markakis will lead off. He is the Oriole offense so far with a home run with 1 out in the 1st inning. And the count 1-0.
Michael, you were talking about the Orioles with a 3-game series here. They have an off day on Thursday, then they go to Boston for the weekend.
And that's an awful week for the Orioles. And you might say, why? Kenny knows this. In their last 24 games on the road against American League East teams, they are 2-22. No, I didn't misspeak. They are 2-22.
2 tough venues. A record against the East this year.
Now, if you want to go back to the beginning of 2008, they are 9-36 on the road against the American League East as Markakis swings and misses.
Then they go home and play Kansas City for 3, and then the Red Sox come in again at Camden Yards. So they're going to be playing the Red Sox quite a few times in these next couple of weeks here, and they could certainly help the Yankees' fortunes if they can get it together against Boston.
Punted, toward third base. A-Rod lets it roll, and it's a base hit. So Adam Jones, the number 3 hitter in the Oriole lineup, lays down a bunt and picks up a single. And I'm sure the Yankees don't want to give up a single, but if he wants to bunt, they'll let him bunt.
Well, if he's going to bunt, he should also be thinking about stealing second. And that's kind of difficult to do with Andy Pettitte on the mound. A-Rod hoping it would roll foul before the bag, but it does not. And with A-Rod so far back, this is not a great bunt by any stretch of the imagination. But with A-Rod playing back on, it works out for Adam Jones.
Grounded right to Teixeira. Goes to second one. On to first, a double up Huff. A 3-6-3 double play to get out of the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and because of the double play, nobody left on base. Good feed to Jeter. Jeter back to Teixeira. Now, time for a word from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and there's the ball being used this year, the inaugural season at Yankee Stadium. And they've lost 2 of those balls today with home runs, and it's a 1-1 game because of that. One by Hinsky, one by Markakis. Pitch to Alex Rodriguez, low, 1-0.
24 runs batted in last 20 games.
Popped up. Shallow left coming on Reimold, but called off by the shortstop Isturiz, who makes the play. 1 away. Hey, it's time for another look at tonight's Toyota Text Poll. Once again, the question: which of these Oriole veterans would get the biggest return in a trade? You've been voting at 58-772. Here are the results. Brian Roberts, who's not being traded.
No.
So, yeah, he probably would get the most. And Aubrey Huff. I disagree with the voters today. I think George Sherrill would get a lot. Lefty reliever. Bulldog.
Yeah, Roberts is signed to a 4-year extension. That's not to say he couldn't be traded, but I don't know if he got any no trade clause in that deal. But he's one of the popular players in Baltimore.
Foul back. Oh, it's a birthday. We have a birthday to celebrate here at Yes. Our runner Colin Gilland is celebrating a birthday today, so he does such a good job for us. We say happy birthday to him. Shallow fly ball to right field. Markakis is there. 2 away. Colin is actually 73 years old. He's one of the oldest runners we've ever had, but very spry, and he does a very good job.
Hasn't lost a step.
Nope. There's Colin.
Yeah.
Looks pretty young for that age, too. Here is Cano. And the pitch inside. Hernandez, no stranger to high pitch counts. He's averaged over 109 pitches per start. But has an easy inning this inning, as Cano, with a broken back, grounds out to Huff. A 1-2-3 inning. And he did it with just 7 pitches. Speaking of the 7th, we go there, 1-1. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Bottle opener key ring. So you have a bottle opener wherever you go. That's important. 1-1, top of the 7th. 0-1 count on Melvin Mora. Lined into center field. And a base hit in front of Cabrera. He thought about the shoestring catch, but then thought better of it, as Moore leads off with a single here in the 7th.
Yeah, that's not something you want to try leading off an inning. If the ball gets by you, all of a sudden you got an extra base hit, or maybe a single at an error. You can see Melvin going out there, getting a pitch about knee high on the outside corner and ripping it back through the middle into center field. Melvin Moore has been with the Orioles longer than any other player, but this is the last year of his deal.
Here's Luke Scott. Count 1-0. That's just the second time tonight the Orioles have put the leadoff runner on base. Big cut by Scott. Count 1-1.
Well, the Orioles have certainly gotten used to left-handed pitching. I had mentioned earlier that they faced Jose Contreras yesterday in Chicago, a right-handed pitcher. The previous 9 games, they had seen a left-handed starter in each and every game. So 10 out of the last 11, there's been a lefty on the mound. And by facing 9 in a row, I think that tied a major league record.
The 2-1. Good breaking ball strike. "94 pitches for Pettit here in the 7th inning. 65 strikes. Good strike-to-ball ratio. Excellent, in fact.
King of swing, Terry Crowley. Yeah, I was right. It did tie an American League record. The last team to face 9 lefties in a row with the Yankees in July of 1980.
And that lefty-lefty matchup won by Pettit as he strikes out Scott for the 2nd time.
And he's got the strikeout pitch working tonight. That's his 7th strikeout. He didn't strike out a batter in the 1st or 2nd innings, but since then he's been putting them away. Giddy up on that pitch. It strikes out Luke Scott. Little cut to it, and Scott's taking that well-known walk.
There's Reimold. Fouled away. Seven strikeouts for Pettit. That ties his season high.
Andy on June 8th struck out 7 Tampa Bay Rays. And 7 here tonight. We'll check that. He struck out 7 Florida Marlins and then went down in Florida. I know it was one of those teams in Florida. We did that game, didn't we, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, Andy was brilliant.
The 1-1 upstairs.
I was talking to John Shelby, the first base coach, about Reimold as we look at the big, tall lefty, Mark Henderson, and then Eddie's Baez also warming up, a lefty and a righty for the Orioles. There's T-Bone Shelby. Talking about Reimold, he said he covers more ground in the outfield than he thought he would. He's a lot faster. He doesn't look like he's moving that fast, but he's got pretty good speed. He's going to have to use it here.
This could be 2. There's 1. On to first. It's a double play. That used to be Andy's specialty, the twin killing. No runs a hit, no errors. And because of this double play, nobody left on base. Jeter got it to Cano, and Cano over to Teixeira to double up Nolan Reimold. So after 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. It's 1-1, but we stay right here and we honor America.
We remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. And now, Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, it's a 1-1 game. And the Orioles make the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered. That guy was obviously very excited about this pitching change. That brings us Mark Hendrickson.
That began the season in the rotation. His pitch much better out of the bullpen.
And he'll face the lefty Hinsky and starts him off with a strike. And another strike. Hendrickson's last 5 outings, 7 innings, 4 hits, did not allow a run, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. Maybe he has found his calling.
Well, he's pitched to a 2.70 out of the bullpen ERA, but 6.35 as a starter this year. Then was moved to the bullpen.
Grounded to first. Tough hop for Huff. Stays with it and gets it to Hendrickson. 1 away. He was a quiet pitching powerhouse affectionately known as Moose. Tonight, the Emmy Award-winning series Yankeeography profiles the life and career of Mike Messina, a 5-time All-Star and 7-time Gold Glover. It's the premiere of Yankeeography, Mike Messina, tonight after the postgame. Only on Yes.
Moose looked great out here yesterday.
Looked in good shape.
Yeah, he did.
He said he has no intention of pulling a Pedro Martinez and coming back in the middle of the year. And he mentioned that the home plate seemed a lot farther away than it used to.
You know why? Because he's been helping his kids out in Little League.
And that's 45 feet, right?
Exactly.
I was reading the stories in the papers about the old Chalmers Day. Somebody was actually keeping like statistics that he gave up 4 hits and 4 runs. He was laying the ball in there. Didn't exactly have Melky Cabrera in center field for him either. And there's a strike to Melky.
What's wrong with Mickey Rivers? It's not the same Mickey.
20 years ago would have been great. No, 30 years
30 years ago. Even better.
High fly ball foul. 7th inning's been a good inning for the Yankees. They've scored 81 runs in the 7th inning. That's more than they have in any other inning. So lucky 7 for the Yankees. That's where we are right now. Bill Hughes probably not available for action tonight. Neither is Mariano, although I asked him before the game. And he said, yeah, I could pitch. He will never say he can't, but I don't think that Joe Girardi's going to use him. Grounded to short. You know, we had a good time yesterday in the booth talking to the old timers, and we had the guys that came up here to sign our books. And Goose Gossage just had a unbelievable autograph.
A beautiful signature.
So I had told you guys how great Mariano's was. So when I saw him today, I said, Mariano, you've got to sign so we can compare. So if we get a chance, we will show you Mariano's autograph, which is also exquisite. High fly ball off the bat of Molina to right center. And Adam Jones makes the play for the final out of the 7th inning as the Yankees go down in order. Mariano's not signing now, but he was earlier. We'll take a look at that signature and move to the 8th inning as well, right here on Yes. exquisite autograph, great G's, HOF, 2008. He does the 8 like a snowman, not just like, you know, one without even taking the pen up. Now we wanted to, they put the pen down on the book, and now we got Mariano, a future Hall of Famer, to sign alongside, so you can compare the signatures.
Two of the greatest relievers of all time.
Take a look. There's Mariano's right there. So what do you think? Bobby Richardson and has Ron Guidry over here. What do you think? You could be the final judge, Kenny.
This is exquisite.
Wow, Mariano's is too.
Yeah, well, they're both good. If you have them both, they're of value.
Quite a pen.
Yeah.
You get it?
To the greatest relievers of all time. Do not lose that page, Mike.
It'll be on EK tonight. Now, one thing that's interesting, people don't see this side of it. Players sometimes get autographs from players, so they'll give them a box of 12 baseballs, and they keep the balls in the box, and they sign them like that very quickly. And Mariano, it takes forever for him to sign to because he takes great care. And he says, you know, that might be the only connection that a person has with me. I want them to see my signature the right way. And that's almost an offshoot of what Joe DiMaggio used to say. He said he wanted to play hard all the time. He said because that might be the only time that person gets to see Joe DiMaggio. As Matt Wieters goes down on strikes. 8 strikeouts for Andy Pettitte, who's bounced back from 2 subpar outings to put together a nice outing tonight in the Bronx.
Yeah, season high in strikeouts for Andy, and this is going to be a cutter down and in, and Wieters over the top.
Let's take a look at the IOTV HD Super Shot.
Gets the foot back down, but the cutter goes underneath the bat, and Wieters has struck out.
Line drive over the leaping try of A-Rod, and a base hit for Cesar Izturis. For a 1-out single. Now, Andy's longest outing this year has been 7 1/3 innings. He did that back on April 15th, so it might have been taxing.
You can see when that pitch is up, and that's why Izturis was able to get to it, just out of the range of the leaping Alex Rodriguez. Up, but no reward.
Season high for Andy, 8 strikeouts. And back to the top of the order, and Brian Roberts. Brian's 0 for 3 against Andy. Fly balls to left center and strikeout looking. Foul back.
Talking about Roberts being signed to as Phil Coates warms up in the bullpen, to an extension. The same for Nick Markakis on deck. He too got a nice extension this spring. As the Orioles attempt to lock up 2 of their better players.
Runner goes. Driven out down the right field line. Could be trouble if it's fair. It's a fair ball. Izturis held up, so he will only get to third. Don't know why he held up. He was going. Maybe he was deked out again.
We'll have to check, or maybe he thought Hinske had a chance to make the play. And Dave Tremblay may be wondering why he did not get off the better jump. Hinske didn't have a chance. That ball just fair, but Hinske came up with it quickly. And that prevents Izturis from scoring. Let's see what happens here. Now he actually slides into second, starts back to first, didn't realize where the ball was. That's the second time tonight.
That was Cano, Kenny.
That's Cano again.
Well, Andy Pettitte matches his longest outing of the year, 7 1/3 innings. But he leaves with a little bit of a mess right now. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. The Yankees will call on another left-hander, Phil Cope, to face Nick Markakis. Text your vote to 58772. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Nick Markakis, number 2, Eric Hinsky, number 3, Andy Pettit, and number 4, David Hernandez. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply.
Yeah, we were talking about Robinson Cano deking out his tourists earlier in the ball game. We saw the same sort of thing. If Robinson Cano was a traffic cop, you would want to go in the opposite direction which he's pointing.
Very tough customer for Phil Coke. Phil's been pitching very well. 26 hits in 38 2/3 innings, 14 walks, although his command's a lot better of late, 31 strikeouts. And he's got a very good run producer. Guy who hits .333 with runners in scoring position, Nick Markakis. Yankees will give up the run. They have the infield back. Grounded to Teixeira. He's coming home. Here's the play. He's out. Good throw by Mark Teixeira. And a good tag by Molina to get the sliding Asturias 2 away.
Wow, that was a bang-bang play all around. First, the ball was scorched by Markakis. And watch the way that Teixeira unloads his throw. Does not really set himself. Throws off balance. The throw is on line. And Asturias cannot dislodge the ball out of the glove of Jose Molina. Well, he made that play like he was a shortstop or a second baseman. And that ball wasn't in the glove very tightly. It almost came out. Here's the catch. Here's the tag. Wow, it was right in the webbing. And somehow the ball stayed in. There's the tag, a bang-bang play at the plate. Well, that is a tremendous gold glove type play on both ends by Teixeira and then Molina. And you can see Markakis looking and seeing that the out is made. And well, Phil Coke all pumped, and why not?
All right, now you've got the All-Star Adam Jones, a right-handed batter. Coke on the mound, a lefty. On deck is Huff, a lefty. Now, if Markakis was at second, it's a no-brainer. You probably pitch the Huff. But when the base open is the one in the middle, you're sometimes loath to do that, and they'll go right after Adam Jones. And here comes the base runner. Molina fires to Coke. They get him! They got him! They got Brian Roberts at the plate. So 2 outstanding plays at home plate, and the Yankees get out of the 7th inning. Check that, the 8th inning. Check this one out.
Here's the wild. It would have been a wild pitch. Instead, Roberts is out at the. He never touched home plate. Never touched it. All the way around it. And he is called out.
So 2 of the better plays that you're going to see around that home plate area. Hey, after the final out of tonight's game, keep it here on Yes for the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones are ready to bring you a complete recap of this game and a look around the rest of the major leagues. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's after the final out. That's when the postgame comes, only on Yes. New pitcher for the Orioles here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Jim Johnson.
Johnson has good stuff, a moving fastball somewhere low to mid 90s.
He'll face the top of the order, starting with Jeter. Now, the Yankees are 9-0 this year when tied after 7 innings. And that's the case right now. Those are the numbers on Johnson.
That says a lot about the Yankee bullpen.
Chop towards short. As Torres fields. Just got Jeter. Time for the plays of the game, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
Yeah, here's the first one. It's Marquez with the grounder and the play at the plate that gets his Torres. Good tag by Jose Molina. And then, what would have been a wild pitch, Roberts is out at the plate. Now, he missed it with his hand. He did touch it with his foot, but he was tagged out before he made contact.
Johnny Damon takes a strike.
He's going to miss with the left hand as he goes around, but watch the left leg. See, there's the tag. Well, he missed with the leg, too.
Good call. You have to give credit to Adrian Johnson. He made 2 good calls at home plate.
Yes, he did.
Got him right before that toe hit the corner of home plate, if it hit at all. An unsung part of that play, or one of the 2 plays you just saw, and Kenny mentioned it earlier, the tag by Molina. The ball was not firmly in the pocket of the catcher's mitt, and he had to hold on to it despite the runner sliding into it. Damon swings and misses, a ball in the dirt. Wieters to Huff, 2 away. Watch this. Look how tough this is. He doesn't have it fully in the glove, and then his Torres slides right into it, and somehow he does not dislodge the ball.
Look like a snow cone. That's the kind of snow cone every kid would like to have. One that's not going to fall out.
There's Mark Teixeira. They have the shift on for Teixeira. Robertson short right field. 3 infielders on the right side. And Mark is 1 for 3. So those 2 good plays ensure that Andy Pettitte does not get a loss. He'll get a no decision in this game. Both starters just have lower ERAs. They will not get a decision.
They both pitch well.
The 2-0. High pop-up. Shallow center. Backing up is Torres. And he'll make the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So Jim Johnson does a nice job against the top of the Yankee order. Well, the Yankees are going to win one tonight. It's going to be in walk-off fashion, 1-1 as we go to the 9th. What did they just do? Swisher? It's time to take a look at the Land Rover drive of the game.
Well, let's go back to the second inning. In fact, this is the Yankees' last hit of the game. It was Hinsky's home run that tied it up in the second. That's our Land Rover drive of the game.
And Hinsky's now out of the game as the Yankees put Nick Swisher in right field for defense. Phil Koch's still in there. And does he get Adam Jones? Yes, he does. Jones could not skip out of the way, so he is on with a potential go-ahead run.
Get another look at this one. Adam Jones strides into it, and it's a breaking ball into. Did it hit him? Joe Girardi, not sure.
And now Adrian Johnson going to ask the other umps. Let's take a look.
That's close. It's hard to tell.
Wow.
Well, from that angle, it looks like he didn't hit him. The other angle, it looked like it did. It's hard to tell on that angle, too.
One of the great managerial gamesmanships was in the World Series in '69 when Gil Hodges of the New York Mets said that Cleon Jones had been hit and then found the ball and showed shoe polish on it, and they gave Cleon Jones first base. So Joe Girardi disagrees. The umpires conferred,
and it's going to stand. I don't think there was any conclusive evidence that we had to change the call. You know, watch, and maybe you see the dust fly up. Maybe that would be an indicator that the ball didn't hit him.
and that'll bring up noted Yankee killer Aubrey Huff. He has 45 RBIs against the Yankees in the last 3 seasons.
And that is more than any other player.
He has 11 this year. Before that hit by pitch, Phil Koch had retired 3 batters in the last 2 games on 3 pitches. Huff swings and misses. Huff is 0 for 4 lifetime against Koch. I told you about Nick and Wright. There he is, taking over for Hinsky. Lined into center field, coming on is Melky Cabrera, and he makes the play. Shoe top catch. 1 out.
Aubrey Huff put that one on the nose, but it held up long enough for Melky Cabrera to make the about knee-high catch at center field. Let's see. Oh, Michael, right? That's a shoestring catch. Not ankle catch.
Shin catch.
All right. The result is there. He did make the catch.
Well, that's going to do it for Koch, as Joe Girardi will start to mix and match with the righty swinging Mora coming up. So Koch does his job, and now it's time for Alfredo Aceves. Aceves against Mora, game tied at 1, top of the 9th in the Bronx. Now fans can watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. A crowd of 46,342 here in the Bronx as the Yankees continue to have the highest per game attendance in Major League Baseball. And they are watching as Alfredo Aceves gets ready to try to get the final 2 outs here in the top of the ninth, give the Yankees a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth. Yankees got some bad news today pitching-wise. After being shut down for a couple of weeks, Chin-Ming Wang threw and felt some pain in the shoulder. Joe Jory said it was so-so. They're going to shut him down for another 4 days before they decide what to do. But Joe said, I'm not going to sit here and say he's not going to pitch this year, but that wasn't a good outcome today.
No, it wasn't. I actually talked to Chin-Ming Wang near the Yankee clubhouse prior to the game, and you can see that he was disappointed with the outcome today. And he pointed to the shoulder, front of his shoulder, and said, just didn't have it.
And that's a big blow, because if you look at a Yankee team that's a very, very good team, there are question marks on the back end of the rotation. And they had thought that Chin-Ming Wang was going to be the number 2 or 3 starter for them this year. And he has 1 win. Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time, but what a pick by Cano, saving an error for Molina.
Adam Jones maybe not running as much as he has in the past, but this is a primetime running situation. As you said, a good pick. There's the tag. Looked like the left foot might have gotten there ahead. Watch the left foot of Jones. Oh, bang, bang. That play was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Looked like he got a tremendous jump.
The pitch, a strike to Mora. Mora 20 for 62 this year with runners in scoring position. Fly ball center field. Cabrera is there for the second out. Alfredo never looks stressed out there, ever. You can never tell by looking at his face what the score is, what the situation is.
They might be thinking about putting Luke Scott on. You can see Aceves on the mound. He's looking over the on-deck circle, and you got a rookie in Reimold. Let's see what the Yankees want to do here. Luke Scott certainly a lot more experience, left-handed hitter. Would kind of lead me to believe they don't want to mess around with him too much. Yep, they're going to put him on.
And they will intentionally walk Luke Scott. And that one's almost thrown away.
Even though Scott has he's 0 for 3 in his career against Aceves, they're just playing the percentages here.
Ball 4 upcoming. And an intentional walk issued to Luke Scott. Hey, Wednesday afternoon on Yes, the Yankees finished their series with the Orioles in a day game right here in the Bronx. Complete coverage starts at 12:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Ken Singleton and I have the call. Orioles and the Yankees Wednesday afternoon at 12:30. Only on Yes. Tomorrow night's game is on My 9, and we'll come on the air at 7 o'clock.
You know, one thing about these two hitters, Scott and Reimold, both hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position. But I think the situation for a rookie, top of the 9th inning, Yankee Stadium. But from what I've seen from Reimold, you know, he looks to me like he's going to be a pretty good player.
Breaking ball is inside. Opponents are just 1 for 15. That's 0-67 against Aceves with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this season.
That's a bingo number.
Reimold 368 with runners in scoring position. So something's got to give in this matchup. Something against type. There's a strike. It's Aceves' value in the bullpen that had the Yankees decide to go with Sergio Mitre tomorrow rather than keep Aceves in the rotation. He started a game in Minnesota which rendered him useless in the 3 games against the Angels, and that might have hurt the Yankees. He is invaluable in many roles. One outside, 2-1. 1-1 game as Joe Girardi trying to manage the Yankees to their 4th straight win.
The Yankees have been making a habit of playing some tight ball games yesterday. The last 2 games, 2-1 victories.
Red Sox leading the Texas Rangers 2-1, bottom of the 5th inning in Arlington. We'll keep you up to date on that. And also, you'll watch the postgame with Bob Lorenz, and he'll have highlights from that game. As Joe Girardi wants to get out there quickly and join the conversation with Molina and Aceves. Speaking of that postgame, you know the whole deal. It's the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz in the studio, Kimberly Jones working the clubhouse, and they are ready. They're poised to tell you everything that's going on. It's the WB Mason postgame after the final out, only on Yes. Jones at second. Luke's got it first. 2 men out. 2-1 count on Reimold. The pitch. Now it's 2-2.
Well, you want to make it happen on this 2-2 pitch. You don't want to go to 3-2. That would give Adam Jones, a runner with pretty good speed anyway, a chance to get off and running on the 3-2 pitch. Well, these fans can rally, can't they?
Looking for a strikeout. Yankees have taken out any which way. The 2-2. High fly ball left field. Damon is there, and he puts it away for the final out of the top of the 9th as Aceves works out of trouble. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left. Yankees have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th. Acura Advance. By Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. And by Avis, the official rental car company of the Yankees. Let's go all the way back to May 16th. Alex Rodriguez leading off the bottom of the 9th inning here tonight. And on May 16th against the Twins, a walk-off home run by Alex Rodriguez. That whole Twin series, walk-off, big win. Yankees have 8 walk-off wins already this year. They had 9 all of last season. So it'll be A-Rod, Matsui, and Cano against Jim Johnson. Game tied at 1, bottom of the 9th. A.J. Burnett, the master of the pie in the face. He has to be ready. But a big healthy cut by A-Rod. 0-1.
I mentioned Johnson has good movement on his fastball. He might be the top man out of the pen outside of the closer, George Sherrill.
Right up the middle, slowed down by Johnson. Roberts is there, and he gets A-Rod for the first out.
Like Johnson gets this one on the hands. You can see the movement right there, and right in on the hands of A-Rod. Johnson couldn't come up with it. But you see Brian Roberts shaded towards the middle, and he had no problem.
Here's Matsui. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. And the count 1-0. Johnson deals. Count 2-0. On deck is Robinson Cano. The Yankees are 6-3 against the Orioles so far this year. 3-3 in Baltimore, 3-0 here at Yankee Stadium. Count 2-1.
So he's going to have to get a new piece of lumber. Here's a look at that movement by Jim Johnson. You wonder if that bat was already cracked the way he went after. It looked like when he went to swing, the bat came apart.
Tapper. Foul in front of the plate. And back of the plate.
Well, his last few games have been one swing of the bat type of ball games, and this might have developed into one as well. It's hard for either team to get a sequence of hits going, at least to this point in the ball game.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Matsui fouls it away. 1-1 game. First game of a 3-game set. Yankees open the second half of the season with a sweep of the first place Tigers. Yankees have had 27 come from behind wins this year. This would be a come from behind when they were down 1-0 after 1. They've had 8 walk-off wins, as we detailed. All of last year, 9. There it goes, deep to right. See ya! A walk-off solo home run by Hideki Matsui, and the Yankees win 2-1. They've done it again. That is Matsui's second career walk-off home run, and his 11th home run this year, as the Yankees have won their 4th game in a row.
Well, we thought it'd come down to one swing of the bat, and today, or I should say tonight, it was Hideki Matsui who delivered. Right down the middle, and he didn't miss it. He kind of knew it as soon as he touched it off. New bat and all. Save this bat, Hideki. The Yankees have now won 4 straight and 3 games in a row by the score of 2-1.
Well, the Yankees get another good starting effort, and their bullpen does it, and Matsui does the helmet flip, much to the delight of Cabrera and A-Rod, and setting off a celebration in the Bronx. And Kimberly Jones is in front of that Yankee dugout. Kim, take it away.
Mark Teixeira, we've seen a lot of these wins. Does it ever get old?
It never does. It's the best way to win a game right here.
Let's talk about those 2 plays at the plate. Take us through the first one. How in the world did you get rid of that ball?
Well, Joe wanted me to play a little bit back because, the ball was hit hard, which, it was. I still had a shot at it, and that's what I did.
And then the second one, you had a good view of it. Did you think Molina had time to get Roberts?
I didn't think he did. That was an incredible play. It's a great job by Koch getting there, and a great job by Marley to get the ball quick and get rid of it. It was just a great play.
Mark, it probably goes without saying, but what kind of a lift do those kinds of defensive plays give a team?
It's huge because defensively, you can always show up. You can always have a great game defensively. Offensively tonight, especially, we didn't get many hits, but we made a few plays to win the game.
What about this scene behind us, Mark? It is the beginning of Hope Week here at Yankee Stadium. A lot of kids really enjoying this.
Oh, yeah. It's, we played for these fans and these kids, and they had a good time tonight.
Talk about hope. There's a lot of hope here, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks,
Michael.
And there's a pie as well as Hideki Matsui gets smushed. And that's the price you pay for a walk-off hit here with the Yankees this year. A little sweetness to go with a sweet swing as Hideki Matsui ends this night in the Bronx with his 11th home run of the year, the Yankees' 9th walk-off win of the season. The Yankees have won 4 in a row, continuing to put pressure on the Red Sox as Hideki Matsui gets it from A.J. Burnett. Walk-off, pie, see ya, game over. We'll be back.